Hello there, and with this phrase, think Kenobi, not some Brexit here. But before we go to the future impact of the leadership race in the Conservative Tory party in Britain, let's talk about the latest ballot results first, the third ballot. Yesterday, the MPs of the Tory party in the House of Commons voted on the next party leader for the third time. The results came in late, that makes this video really a night shift, by the way. I will tell you the result of the third ballot in order of the most votes again. Rishi Sunak got 115 votes, that is plus 14 votes, but he still did not reach the threshold of 120 votes he most probably would have preferred, because that would have brought him through. Penny Mordaunt got 82 votes, that is minus 1 vote. Liz Truss got 71 votes, that's plus 7 votes. Kemi Badenoch got 58 votes, that's plus 9 votes. And Tom Tugendhat got 31 votes, so he even lost 1 vote as well. And that means that Tom Tugendhat is out of the race. And that just leaves 4 candidates for today's fourth ballot. The results are supposed to be published today at 5 p.m. CET. Getting the fourth ballot results into my Wednesday morning video will be a bit tricky this time, because I not only have to go to a dentist but have a board meeting this evening, but I will try. And on Wednesday we should have the 2 candidates that will be subject to the will of the members of the Tory party. But it's still interesting to see what will happen with Penny Mordaunt, because she didn't get any momentum. Ian Duncan Smith always says Liz Truss has the momentum, she will do it, blah, blah, blah. Kemi Badenoch got more new votes than Truss did. So it's really interesting what's going to happen. The battle for the Prime Minister's successor is very diverse. However, applicants cannot be expected to adopt a liberal immigration policy. But who offers more? Taxes down, illegal foreigners out, and an ultra-tough course against the EU. In the power struggle to succeed British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, applicants with conservative positions outbid each other. After now 3 rounds of internal elections, it's evident that even Liberal candidates will have to abandon their position to remain in the running. It's a march to the right, said Ian Blackford, leader of the Scottish National Party SNP in the British Parliament. Under Johnson, the Conservative Party has moved even further to the right. The influence of the right-wing Conservatives wing, which sees itself as the guardian of Brexit, has increased enormously. It's a completely different Conservative Party than it was 10 years ago. That's what Blackford said in an interview with the German press agency. And he said, essentially, the Tory party has become the Brexit party. And Blackford's conclusion is, the Conservatives have overtaken the right-wing populists who just a few years ago were stealing voters from them with their tough positions. And author Peter Oborn is convinced that even after Johnson's exit, the thrust will remain the same. I don't think it will get better. It could rather get worse. That's what he warns of. And he once voted for Brexit himself. They will continue the policy of confrontation with the EU, continue the war on human rights, weaponize asylum seekers, and generally attack the rights and freedoms of the British people, he says. Johnson's government has implemented several controversial laws. For example, the police can ban demonstrations if they fear noise pollution. Cabinet members are blatantly threatening to withdraw from the European Convention on Human Rights because the judges are undermining Britain's right to self-reliance. I will make a video on the convention soon as well. Conservative politicians have long been warning of radicalisation. I have the impression that we no longer have a Conservative party, but an English nationalist government. And that was said by former Tory party leader Chris Patten shortly before Johnson's end. The ultra-conservative stance of the government is astounding when you take a look at the field of candidates. And I'm talking about the ones after the second round now. The former Finance Minister Rishi Sunak, with roots in India, and former State Secretary Kemi Badenoch, with ancestors from Nigeria, have good prospects until today. If you add Attorney General Suella Braverman as the daughter of Indian parents, Chancellor of the Exchequer Nadeem Zahawi as an Iraqi refugee, and ex-Health Minister Sajid Javid, son of a Pakistani bus driver, more than half of the 8 politicians who made it into the second ballot or the first ballot have a migration background. It was the first ballot. And Tory politicians proudly emphasize that the choice of candidates shows a diversity that has never been found in the opposition Labour Party. However, critics point to the policies of the Tories, which is anything but progressive. Home Secretary Priti Patel, for example, who's fortunately not competing, whose parents once fled Uganda, presents herself as a merciless opponent of immigrants. Anyone entering the country illegally, as they put it, should be flown out to Rwanda, regardless of their asylum status and origin. The project has been criticized by asylum experts as unlawful, but supported by all of Johnson's potential successors, even those that are out already. It's the most diverse government in history, but it's also the most racist policy of any government. That's what Kehinde Andrews, professor of Black Studies at the University of Birmingham, told the BBC. The Black and Asian-born politicians are just fig leaves for white oppression. In addition, the candidates are of different origin. However, almost all of them come from the same social environment, wealthy and privately educated. The wife of ex-Finance Minister Sunak, who received the most votes in the second round, owns hundreds of millions of pounds as stakes in the Indian IT giant Infosys, owned by her father, Narayana Murthy. The Tory competition lacked people who are considered ordinary, says political scientist Tim Bale of the Queen Mary University in London. And SNP parliamentary group leader Blackford is much tougher on the political opponent, as I said in the beginning of the video. Only terrible candidates are available as possible prime ministers. That's how Blackford complained in Parliament. Whoever becomes the next Tory leader will make Genghis Khan look like a moderate. I was really laughing when I saw that in Parliament. And Boris Johnson himself? Well, he's done it again. Boris Johnson threw a luxurious private party. His government had previously declared a disaster, though. So British Prime Minister Boris Johnson was again criticised for a celebration over the weekend. As the news channel Sky News reported, the outgoing Prime Minister gave a private party at the luxurious country estate Chequers on Sunday. The government had previously declared a disaster due to the heat record expected for the beginning of this week and convened a meeting of the National Crisis Team Cobra. However, Johnson did not show up on Saturday. The deputy leader of the opposition Labour Party, Angela Rayner, spoke of a zombie government and called on Johnson to vacate his seat if he's still unable to take responsibility. A plan is needed to keep people safe at work, in traffic, in schools, hospitals and nursing homes in face of the heat. That's what Rayner said. The British Weather Service had issued a red weather warning for Monday and Tuesday due to heat for the first time ever, by the way. Up to 40 degrees Celsius were expected in large parts of England. The previous temperature record is 38.7 degrees and was measured in Cambridge in 2019. Johnson resigned as party leader at the beginning of July under massive pressure from his parliamentary group and also even the cabinet. He had previously struggled with one scandal after the other, including because of banned lockdown parties at the government seat. However, he intends to remain in office until a successor is elected, which normally is a normal thing, but not with this guy. In the competition for Johnson's successor, the tone also has intensified further over the weekend. Penny Mordaunt, Secretary of State for Commerce, who was popular with the Conservative Party base, was increasingly caught in the crossfire of her rivals. Criticism of her included accusations that she had gone too far in response to demands from trans rights activists, and Mordaunt spoke of a smear campaign. In addition to Mordaunt, 4 other candidates were currently in the running for the top office until today. When I'm filming this, I mean today. The field of applicants is to be further was to be reduced from 5 to 2 in several rounds of voting in the Tory parliamentary group by Wednesday. In each round, the last place player is and was eliminated. After that, the party members call the shots. Ex-Finance Minister Rishi Sunak is largely set for the final round. Secretary of State Liz Truss got the second most votes in the second ballot. No, she didn't. That was Penny Mordaunt. It's hard to jump always between the second and the third ballot. That happened today when I'm filming, and it's tough. But in the beginning of the video, I gave you the result for today. But so far, the main topics have been the tax breaks promised by the candidates, how to deal with illegal immigrants, and the position in the dispute over rights for trans people. Opposition politicians warned of an outbidding competition between right-wing conservative positions. So nothing liberal there. So far, climate change has hardly played a role. The president of the UN Climate Summit COP26 held in Glasgow in Scotland last year, Alok Sharma, did not want to rule out resignation if the future prime minister proves to be weak in pursuing climate goals. And I, for example, watched the hustings for the Tory party that they did on the internet. I don't mean the TV rounds, I mean the TV duels. I mean the hustling on the internet for the Tory party members. And I'm not very convinced and not very calmed down about those who are still in the race for prime minister. And I'm really looking forward to see who will really be the two in the end on Wednesday. The Tory party is always up for surprises, and I don't believe that they will skip this one. And just a reminder, yesterday, my new Outside Views military channel went up, and the first video is there. And it has to do, of course, it's linked to the Ukraine war because of the discussion about what I'm not so keen of government here in Germany is delivering to the Ukraine in case of weapons. So if you're interested in stuff like that, just have a look. The link to the channel is in the description of this video as well, as are all the links to all my channels in the description of every video you watch. So if you're ever interested in another topic, have a look in the video description, have a look through my channels, and just visit me there. And I'll see you in my next video. Schau vorbei.